We are Muskegon County at Work, spotlighting workers of local governments throughout our county, revealing what it takes to make our communities comfortable and safe. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Muskegon County Municipalities at Work. I'm your host, DJ Hilson, for yet another episode where we get to dig into the various aspects and entities of local government, and really so that you, the audience, the listener, can understand what these various individuals do, what these various departments are about, and really give you an inside look as to how governments work and why they are so successful. And today is a special day for me. As a host, you're not required to have favorite guests, but I have to say that I get to talk to one of my favorite human beings on the planet, Miss Saquetta Chatman. And I've known Saquetta for a long time. And so, Saquetta, it is just an absolute honor to have you with me today.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, as I always like to do with my guests, will you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are, where you came from, why you're here, and how you got to where you are today.
Well, DJ, I was born and raised here in Muskegon County. I've been living here all my life, never left. And I decided one day I wanted to be a part of change. I wanted to be a part of helping. I want to be a part of service. So that has been pretty much my mission in life ever since I was a young teenager. And I started that career off, as you know, at the County of Muskegon. And, of course, that's where we met.
Yep.
I started with the County of Muskegon in 1998. As a part-timer. And as I worked my way through the courthouse with different experiences, circuit court records. Back then it was called juvenile court, which became family court, and then the prosecutor's office. And that's where we met.
Yeah.
And I was glad to serve under you, and as well as the prior prosecutor, Tony Tagg, which was a pleasure. I learned a whole lot. And I just really felt a need to grow in my line of service and help. And then I decided, once it was brought to my attention, that the city of Norton Shores Police needed someone on their front end to assist, because the lady I replaced, she retired, very nice, sweet lady, and she helped train me there as to their policies and procedures. And so I became a member of their staff, and I've been now with the city of Norton Shores for over 11 years. It's been 11 years. And I'm glad to be there. I miss a lot of people at the prosecutor's office, but I'm very happy of where I am now.
So let's talk a little bit about, obviously when people go to various government offices, pick an office, it doesn't really matter. There's always somebody that you come in contact first, right? That's
yes.
That's the sometimes the first impression, sometimes the complaint department, the compliment department, the whole ball of wax. So what is it about that job, being, as you put, the front person, that is so appealing to you?
Well, again, as I said, being of service, trying to help. Because a lot of times it's not always pleasantry as to why they're there. And it is my job to get the person to just see themselves as we're family, meaning that, of course, we're not close related, but as family, meaning that this could be your sister, this could be your mother, it could be your brother, and so on and so forth. So you kind of want to make sure that you give that personable attention to the person regardless of why they're there. Because we all go through hardships, we all go through situations, turmoils, and we, as someone that works in public service, we have to remember that. And we can't always take things personal. We just can't do it. Because we need to let the public know and everyone know we're there for them, regardless of the situation as to what brings them to our department.
So outside of being that very friendly, always cheerful face, and I can say that with great confidence because I've seen it many times, What other duties do you hold at the Norton Shores Police Department?
Well, let's see. When someone comes to that window, first of all, I have no idea as to what they want. And it's my job either carry out that duty or make sure I find out who can assist them. We want everyone to be assisted in whatever it is they need, whether it's something positive or not so. So one of my jobs is the pistol registry. Unfortunately, we live in a time where everyone wants to purchase a pistol. It is my job to make sure that I do the license to purchase, which is to run the background check on the person to make sure they're even eligible by law to purchase a gun from a gun store or a personal dealer or from someone they may know. And it's also my job to, when someone comes in, to register as a sex offender. So I need to make sure as it's who they are and make sure that all their guidelines are followed and to make sure we get the registry updated to make sure we're able to assist them to let them know when they need to come back again. And then that depends on the tier of offender that they are. Another one of my jobs is to someone comes in for a report, which falls under our Freedom Information Act. Sometimes they just want to read for themselves a situation they may have been involved in, or maybe one of their relatives, or they just want to see exactly and read for themselves what was written. So they would have to fill out a form, of course, and then those reports are produced if they are qualified or eligible to have them. Another one of my jobs at the police department is I do the purchase orders for the department, meaning that any supplies for the department that are needed, it's my job to make sure that those purchase orders get processed through to our finance department to make sure the vendors get paid. And another one of my jobs is the actual invoices. We have to invoice people out who may have owed the city for various reasons. My main job, the business alarms that companies, a business, if a false alarm goes off, we have to send them notifications as to letting them know that the police came. Good thing that it wasn't an actual break-in in the property, but it's my job to make sure that they are aware of that. And then there is a fee once there have been 4 invoices within the year. So it's my job to make sure those bills go out to everyone. And also, I do the payroll for the Norton Shores Police Department. I make sure that all of our well-deserved officers and all staff in our department gets their paycheck.
Well, you got to be pretty popular then.
Yes. And I really have a pleasure of doing the payroll. I'm pretty good with numbers, and I really like it. And it gives me, again, a satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping, that I'm providing a service. And sometimes people just come in with questions. Sometimes people just come in and want you to hear them. And, I always try to give a listening ear and understanding. If I can help, I'm going to help no matter who it is. I get a lot of positive feedback from the public. And sometimes I do say things that they do not want to hear. But I believe overall they do understand. She's doing her job the best she can. She's helping as much as she can. It's just various other things that I do. I don't really consider it all as work. It's my responsibility. It's the character of who I am. I go there with a purpose every day. I honestly do. I go there to do my job and to help whoever I can help. And then at the end of the day, I just make sure that I've done the best I could in that work day.
Well, it goes without saying. I know that the chief and the other members of that staff certainly appreciate all the things that you do, because if they didn't, I would have something to say about it, Saquetta, just so you're aware.
I love that.
Talk a little bit about, you mentioned it, I think, sort of indirectly, but this idea, I know you very well. You have this sense of being very level-headed and patient. Why is that important when it comes to, again, as I always say, you're steering the ship, because you're the first person that everybody sees when they walk in, you're the first person usually that they hear when they call on the telephone. So how important is being sort of level-headed and patient in that role?
Because I believe it's just a process of results. And getting results, I cannot approach a person who may be angered if I'm angry too. You can't argue and have some type of verbal confrontation with someone when there's a lot of tension and frustration. So my job is to make sure it's calmed and get them to understand and see, I understand that you're frustrated, but you have to hear me. Let me help you the best that I can, and then we'll go from there. And as I said before, it's not always what they want to hear, but sometimes, I'd say all the time, truth needs to be said. We have to be truthful, and I believe that truth is something we don't like to look at anymore. But truth is very important. It's very important.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, usually when the police are involved in something, typically, at least one side of the equation isn't happy, right?
Yes.
And certainly, I think people need to appreciate and understand that even though, you work for the department, you're not going to have all the answers.
Exactly.
But your job, as you said, is to do the best that you can to get to the truth of the matter. Safe to say?
Yes.
So how has it, having been in Norton Shores City Hall, it's a smaller building. How is it working with the other departments that are located in that building? How have you found sort of that collaboration and cohesiveness amongst the other departments?
Well, I find it easier for me is communication, not by text, not by email. I like to go down to other departments and talk to whoever it is that I need to speak to. I just let them know just from a verbal conversation. And I believe we've gotten so far from that. And when we are within the same building, we should sometimes go down and talk to the person. I think you get better results when you go and talk to them face to face. I think face to face, because we're human, we need to communicate within person. I believe it's just too much conversation that's over email. I understand that's more convenient, it's faster, but if you're in the same building, sometimes I advise anyone, take the time, take a walk down there, let your staff members know I'll be back within 3 to 5 minutes. Go down and talk to the financial director, go down and talk to one of the administrative clerks, whoever you need to talk to. Give them that one-on-one. Give them that time to be able to explain whatever situation or issue or problem or even question you may have. I believe that's the best way. And I've done that, and that's what I do. And the ladies all know, and men too, if they don't see me come down, then she's really busy right now. But yes, that's very important to me because we're on this earth together as people, and sometimes it is a better benefit when we behave as people without all of the electronics and the new way of communicating. Yes.
Amen to that. So talk to me about the staff within the police department itself. How have you found working with the officers and the other staff that work directly in your area?
Well, I see them as family, my work family. Most of them, now, I'm old enough to be their mother. Yes, I'm at that point now. It didn't used to be that way, but I am now. But I honor that. I see them as just the future, as just positive people, because the things that they do, I see things that happens in their family and life that I didn't get to experience, and it just warms my heart to be able to witness it and to see it. They all show me pictures of their children. I know most of their children by name, as I do yours. And that's something I always had a interest in doing, and so I still do that. I'm pretty much the same in that way when I was in your department. I'm just very personable. I will walk up to, okay, that's his wife. I want to go meet her, who she is. Is that her husband? That's just the thing that I always done. I like to get to know the family, the people that I work with. I work with two now amazing young ladies, and I feel though I am, well, one of them, I'm old enough to be her mom, and the other young lady, I'm old enough to be her, well, I call her my niece.
Gotcha.
I call her my niece. And I find pleasure in that, and they share with me their family and their pictures and everything. So we're very, very close-knitted, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, do you find being able to sort of create, well, obviously that environment gets created by yourself and certainly by the culture itself. And, has it been your experience, since you've worked in different departments, mine included, but even before that, other county departments, have you found that culture has existed in the various workplaces that you've been?
For me, it has, because I always make it a point to get to know who I'm working with. That's just something that's just in me. I like to know people. I'm a people person, and I like people. I just do. And I'm going to try to see, well, how can I help you in this kind of way, or what is going on with you? I'm very concerning. I don't like to see people frown. I just don't. That kind of bothersome to me. And I just like to be able to lend an ear or a prayer or a helping hand, whatever it is that person may need, I'm there. And that's what it's all about, to help one another. And as the word says, to love one another. And I definitely have a love for people. And that's just who I am. And I won't change that for nothing in the world.
Well, we don't want you to do that. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So I want to tap into your lifelong Muskegon experience for just a second.
Okay.
As you indicated, you've been here since the beginning of your life.
Yes.
What have you noticed throughout Muskegon County that you've seen as a positive change since you've been roaming around these parts for some time?
Well, as a positive change, I see growth, meaning that I see more businesses, particularly in my area. I'm in the downtown Muskegon area, because at first I was a bit saddened when the farmers market moved. I've been going there for years, growing up as a girl. And I said, they're going to move the farmers market? But then where it is now, I love it. I think that was a very good decision. That's one of the most major changes, because when you're so used to doing something a certain kind of way, you get, comfortable with it. But I'm very happy that where it is now, and I enjoy going down there. You always run into someone and it's a very better change, I believe it is, for Muskegon. And one of my daughters, she moved down to that area, and she loves it. So I just think it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing. It looks like there's more productivity now. It's not just a quiet, sleeping type area now downtown. I think it's a more vibrant, more open. I believe, but it's more people. It's definitely more people. So, well, yes, but I think it's a good thing overall.
Fantastic, fantastic. What? So, Saquetta, if you were to, I'm going to sort of give you the soapbox here for a second,
okay.
And I want you to speak for all the, I'll say, the frontline individuals that are the first person that somebody sees when they walk into a various county department. For those folks walking in, what pieces of advice would you give for them to have I'll say a more pleasurable is not the word I want to use, but an experience other than wanting to burn the building down kind of thing?
Well, I don't know a person's walk of life with their spirituality, but it's always good to breathe first. Take a breath and just realize that person you come in contact with has absolutely nothing to do with whatever situation as to why you're here. I believe that's one of the most profound understandings that everyone should have. just know that that person is not the person that may cause or make you think the cause as to whatever way that they're feeling. So I would say breathe first. Take a deep breath.
And obviously, I think, and I'll say this, it's always important, because I have to tell myself this all the time as well, is be respectful. Understand that, they may represent whatever department, but as you indicated, you're not the reason why I'm necessarily coming. I'm coming to either pay a bill or, if I'm going to a police department, maybe pay a fine or log a complaint or whatever the case is. And so be respectful.
Yes.
That basic common sense, right?
Yes, that's true. But that's something you can't tell a person
No,
when they're
no,
upset.
of course
you can't say it. But you'll find that even with myself, and I'm sure yourself, if you just take a deep breath first, because that allows the brain, the oxygen to reach the brain for you to think. And then you kind of get a more perspective that this person is not the person that I feel is attacking me. And it honestly, truly helps. It really does. Mm-hmm.
Now, you've spent pretty much your entire working career working in the public service,
Yes.
public sector arena.
Yes.
For those folks that are watching this, that maybe they are thinking about a different career choice, or maybe they haven't thought about a career, how important, how fulfilling and satisfying have you found this public service work that you've done your entire working life?
Oh, very satisfactory. As I said, my mission is to serve and to help. And you got to realize all days are not the same. And the most important thing to remember, when there is friction of some type, it normally lasts from 1 to 3 minutes. And so once you have that disagreement from 1 to 3 minutes, you cannot allow that time to take away your full day. Because if you do that, then that's on you. You've lost control of you. And I refuse to allow any situation. And I know people would say, it's easy to say. Yes, it is, because you have to have the mindset to know. If you allow one incident to just make your rest of your day negative, that's you giving power over that negativity for whatever reason it was brought to you. And that's what it is, because hurt people, they like to hurt people. And when you know they're hurt, you can't allow them to display that hurt on you. You got to allow it to stay there. But when there is a confrontation or some type of friction, once you finish with that person, walk away from your desk. Take a few minutes. Breathe. Get it out. Whatever you need to say to coworkers, just get it out. And once you get it out, don't keep carrying it. Don't keep repeating it. Because once you do that, then now your mindset is where that person led you to be. And only you can control you. No one can control your mind, your thoughts. You have to make it up in your mind how I'm going to have the rest of the day. And then that's not fair. Once you go home to your family and your friends and you're upset and you're saying this happened, that happened, this, you're still talking about something that may have happened at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now it's 6 o'clock at night. When does that end? So you got to put it in perspective. Don't carry the rest of that moment throughout your day. And I refuse to do that, because life, as you know, is very short. We're not guaranteed the next day, the next moment or hour, as we know. So that's why we got to just let that go. Once you get over it, let's move on.
So, I think this is my last question. We'll see how you answer it. I never want to say last question.
Okay,
Lawyers never
fine.
say last question, because there's
Okay.
always 3 more that come after that. But, if you were to describe what type of person it would take to work the front line, and I'm talking about the folks that work at the window at any police department, any government office, any municipal government, what type of personality and person will make that person successful?
All right, you really would like to know?
I would. I want to know the secret sauce.
It's your relationship with the Lord. That's what it takes. Because your mindset of what you're learning, of being human beings, how else can you deal with people from an irate person to an extremely irate person to a person that's totally just out of control? You have to have that mindset. It's your spirituality of knowing who you are and where you stand and whose you are. And if you truly trust and believe that within yourself, oh, you can do anything. Because that's what the word tells us. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And that's just not a verse. That's a truth. That's what he said. And that doesn't change. Yes, I've had some bad days, but bad moments, I should say. But I make sure I don't make it a bad day. That's the difference. It's not just a job. It's providing that service. And that's what that is.
So when you get to answer that question or provide, the information that that person is looking for, how satisfying is that?
Most of the time it's very satisfying. But as I said, sometimes it's not what they want to hear. But that's life. And we all go through that. We don't always have the outcome that we think is the right outcome. And that too, that's something we have to learn how to work through and deal with. Sometimes that is what that is, but sometimes it could change. But again, that's life. And as I said with the word, he never said it was going to be easy. And we shouldn't expect it to, because then where is it that we would feel that we continue to need the word if we knew everything, if everything just came handed out, if everyone showed up any public office and everyone just full of roses and nice and kind? What would that be like? So it's the appreciation. It's the appreciation.
Well, Saquetta, I've been looking forward to this interview for a long time.
Okay.
And I really appreciate you
Thank
taking
you.
the time out of your busy day.
Thank you.
With all the things that you do for Norton Shores. But thank you for your service, especially to all the public agencies that you have served.
Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I had this vision to come up with what I call a stability tree.
Okay.
And what the stability tree is, everyone in the whole department had to come up with a word. Just a positive word. I said, whatever words you think of relate to you, as long as it's something positive. And someone said, well, good luck with getting everybody to participate. So I stayed on them, and I got a word from everyone. So I have the tree on our board in the front office with everyone's word on there. And the purpose of that is to say, whenever those officers they encounter so much that the world doesn't see, you can come in this office and look at that board. And once you see those words, that gives you a more sense to remember your purpose as to why you're here, why you're doing this job. And I just appreciate everyone for participating with it. And it really helps because I still look at it. And my word on the board is truth. I just wanted to share that.
Listen,
And I think more places should kind of get into that. And it really helps psychologically. It really puts your mindset, especially when you're having a not so good day. Just look at that board.
Well, and I think it's a good reminder, too, that people, again, the public who encounter, whether you walk into the Norton Shores Police Department and meet Saquetta across the glass from you, or you happen to encounter a police officer, whatever capacity.
Yes.
Just keep all those things in mind. Because everybody's just got a job to do.
Absolutely.
And I love what you said.
Yes.
Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Take a breath and then proceed. And you'd be surprised at how many, problems get solved by just doing that.
Take a breath. Yes.
It's awesome. Well, Saquetta, again, this has been great. You are an amazing human being.
Thank you.
I just really appreciate all your service to this community. And I hope people walk away from this having a better appreciation, understanding, not only for the things that you do, but also everybody that sits in that same seat. That first person you encounter in whatever department you're walking into. just remember the words that we spoke of today.
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for today's episode. Again, thank you for tuning in and watching these. Really appreciate being able to explore with you all the various aspects of municipal government, and more importantly, the people behind those departments and the things they do to make our community better. So, DJ Hilson again here. Look forward to the next episode. And again, this whole project doesn't really happen without the ingenuity of one Mr. Mike Vogus.